Hello my Wolfpack and welcome to another competitive guide video. Today we're covering Ting. Now Ting, for some reason I thought was dark water type, but apparently it is dark ground. And this thing has got incredible HP, incredible attack, incredible defense, and actually pretty good special defense. I think this thing, if you was to chuck it in a trick room in doubles, if it was allowed in like VGC, this thing would be absolutely destructive if I'm completely honest. Now, let's look at the useful moves first of all, because that's simply what we do. We have got Body Press, powerful Vice type attack. It goes on the defense as opposed to the attack. Obviously, if you go for a max defense set, that's going to do a lot of damage to a lot of different mons. Body Slam allows you to half the speed of the opposing Pokemon if you paralyze it, which has a 30% chance to do so. Also, some damage on the opposing Pokemon. Earthquake, powerful ground stab type move. Hits a lot of Pokemon, obviously hits both Pokemon in doubles. You've got Facade, just in case you get burned or something like that, but also a powerful normal move. Heavy Slam, you are quite heavy, so you should do a lot of damage. Obviously, it does depend on what you are battling there. Memento, because it's a fun, interesting move. Makes you faint, but lowers your opponent's special attack and attack by 2 stages, meaning the next Pokemon that you bring in is going to either take less damage or force a switch, which allows you to have some momentum, I suppose, in that case. Rock Slide, powerful rock type attack, allows you to have a chance to flinch, especially if you chuck this in the trick room. Ruination, which halves the HP of the opponent, which, you know, is really handy if you've got a mon that's really defensive, or just not taking the damage. Spikes and Stealth Rocks is good options to allow you for any hazard setup. Stone Edge, powerful rock type attack again, gives a bit of coverage. Taunt to allow you to stop Pokemon from setting up, because you don't really want to let a Pokemon set up against you. Throat Chop to stop anything like Torch Song, for example, or even along the lines of any of the sound-based attacks with Hyper Voice. Not Hyper Voice as an example, but with Throat Spray could happen. Whirlwind to force the opponent's Pokemon out. Now, as you're quite slow in anything other than the Trick Room, you're going to be going probably last anyway, so Whirlwind is actually a pretty good move to use on this mon. And then you've got Zen Headbutt for a bit more coverage there as well, going against particularly your fighting type weakness. In terms of doubles, we've got a few useful moves. You've got things like Rock Slide, which hits both Pokemon, as I said, in a Trick Room, works really well. Protect allows you to not take damage that turn. Snarl, which lowers down the special attack stat of the opposing Pokemon, which actually, with your lower special defense, combines really nicely. And Bulldoze to lower down the speed. You know, if you keep on lowering down the speed, they're eventually going to be slower than you, so depending on how you are playing things around. Now, in terms of your Terra types, what I would recommend, so in terms of some of your weaknesses, I would go for an Electric Terra type. Electric Terra type means you basically just have the weakness to ground, so you get rid of all of your other weaknesses, and you can hit things like Water types, super effective damage. You're not going to take as much damage from a lot of other different Pokemon either, that can be quite problematic for you. So, you know, Electric Terra type, it's just a really good generic Terra type to have. And, you know, if you have something to cover the ground weakness, then that's fantastic. You've also got Flying. I thought Flying covers your Bug weakness, your Fighting weakness, and your Grass weakness as well. So, realistically, yeah, it's getting rid of a lot of your weaknesses. The only one you really have to really consider is going to be the Ice-type weakness that you will maintain over that. So, do be kind of cautious with regards to that one. But other than that, it's a really good typing to have. And I've also chosen the Poison typing, and the Poison typing I thought was quite interesting because it allows you to hit your Grass type for super effective damage, and also the Fairy type for super effective damage, and resist things like the Fighting type as well. So, you know, overall it can work really beneficial for you, and can be a very interesting play into the Poison typing, but obviously things like Fairy types are very common, so being the Poison type could actually definitely work in your favour there. Obviously you have access to things like Terra Blast if you need to use that to gain the specific typing of these moves. But yeah, that is going to be it kind of for our startup here. We'll go into our first set, which is a Choice Band set. Now this thing has pretty high attack stat at base 110, take it to 350, which should take it to 525, I think, when it's choice banded, meaning it's going to cause a lot of problems for your opponent. And also, your Vessel of Ruin lowers down the special attack of the opposing Pokemon, so they're at 0.7 times what they would be. and obviously that means you're going to take less damage on the special defensive front. So actually it works really nicely in combination with Ting Lu. Ting Lu I think is one of the best ones, personally in my opinion. I think it's definitely underrated in a lot of people's books. So move wise, I would go for Earthquake, your powerful ground type attack boosted by stab. You know, realistically this is the thing you're going to click 9 times out of 10. Stone Edge is there for coverage as well, allows you to hit quite a few other different Pokemon. You've got Body Slam, chance to paralyze, and also just general damage on different Pokemon. The only thing that would resist it are your Rock and Steel types, which you can hit super effective with your Earthquake, so they're less likely to come in. And then Heavy Slam there just for a bit more coverage as well, allowing you to hit things like Fairy types for super effective damage. Could be pretty helpful for you in there. EV-wise, you probably don't want to do your speed investment here. In fact, you might want to zero out your speed in case of using things like a Trick Room, but my recommendation is max HP, max attack with an Adamant Nature, so more attack with special attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. If you're going for a Trick Room variation, I would go for the Brave Nature, which is more attack and less speed, and then zero out the EVs in speed. For that, I think that would potentially work, especially if you're trying it in doubles or if you're running a generalized Trick Room team. Moving on to the second Ting Lu, we have got a leftovers hazard setting set, so spikes and stealth rocks. Obviously, if you set up a lot of hazards, your opponent is going to have a lot less opportunity to switch. They are going to struggle quite a bit with being able to move kind of between the different positions that they may need to move. So spikes, if you set up 3 layers, it will take 25% off anything that hits the ground, and then stealth rocks takes an amount of damage off on each Pokemon. If you're interested in looking at the exact amounts, you can Google it, but most Pokemon will take kind of 12% damage. But it means that one, Focus Sash is basically nullified by most Pokemon. Heavy Duty Boots, you can identify those really easily, meaning that it's definitely not holding another item, so you don't have to worry as much. And also, you're just going to stop them from switching as much. I've been in that position before, where my Rapid Spinner or my Defogger has gone down, and I've had to then switch into another Pokemon, and I need to switch again, but actually I can't switch because of the amount of damage that we've taken. So, you know, hazards are really, really fantastic, and this is a fantastic hazard setter. I then put Earthquake as your general coverage move, and also Whirlwind. Now, as you're really slow, this doesn't really matter, because Whirlwind will go off last in the turn, but realistically, Ting Lu is always going to go last in the turn. Now, Whirlwind forces that Pokemon out and brings in another Pokemon. They are then going to take the damage from the spikes and the stealth rocks, which in turn will cause more damage, and repeatedly you can kind of keep on whirlwinding until you faint. You've got leftovers here for a little bit of recovery alongside that as well. Now, EVs you can run 2 different ways here. You can run max HP, max special defense with a careful nature, so more special defense, less special attack, and 4 EVs in attack. You can run max HP, max defense with a impish nature. Just trying to think what it was. Impish nature, so more defense, less special attack. Or you can even run max HP with a split in your defenses there as well. So there's definitely different opportunities you can run, but this definitely needs to be run as more of a defensive variant and will allow for you to be able to cause a lot more problems for your opponent. Honestly, I really love this set. And as long as Ting Lu can live the hits, if you tear it into something that's going to, not have the issues, then, this could be an absolutely fantastic fantastic set to run. Moving on to the third one, we have got a Lychee Berry on here, which means basically we're going to allow ourselves to get down to as low a health as possible, and that will increase up our attack by 1 stage. The ideal thing here is that you are then going to have either a Trick Room, or at this point you'll have Bulldoze enough to slow down that Pokemon to be slower than you. So Bulldoze, it's a good ground type attack. It's not super powerful, but it lowers the speed of the opponent by 1 stage. Now this can be used as tech for support on another Pokemon, or it could be used to support Ting Lu in potentially outspeeding eventually. Earthquake I've put on here as well because you want a more powerful attack, especially after you kind of get down to that Lychee Berry. You've got Throat Chop to stop any of those setup situations when it comes to the sound-based moves, and then Memento. Memento I think actually works really, really nicely if you think you're about to go down, and then you can get another Pokemon in, not take that damage, and cause issues for the opponent. Either they have to switch or they have to attack you with a lowered attack or special attack, which is not going to be handy. EV wise, max HP, max attack with an adamant nature, some more attack, less special attack, and 4 EVs in special defense is what I would recommend for this set. Now moving on to the 4th set, I've gone for a Resto Chesto set. Now you could definitely go for a Rest set alongside the Whirlwind and Hazard setting. Definitely you could go for that. It'd be really interesting, but this one I've gone for Rest, Sleep Talk, Body Press, and Earthquake. You don't have to go for Earthquake. You could go for any other kind of supporting move here, but I thought, you know, that would be quite nice. And the idea here is that you would get down low on health, you rest, you heal your health back up. You then have your Chesto to wake you up the first turn. You can then choose which moves you use. Once you've gone down a little bit lower again, you can start using Rest and then Sleep Talk to hopefully get Body Press or Earthquake there. To support this, EV-wise, I've gone for max HP, max defense, impish nature, so more defense, less special attack. You could run it in the special defense if you wanted to, but I think in this case, it works better in the defense because you're running it alongside body press, and obviously the body press will do more damage the more defense you have. So that's kind of the idea with this specific set. And finally, moving on to doubles, we have got a few nice moves on here. We have got Snarl, which lowers down the special attack of the opponent, meaning that you're going to take even less damage on the special side. Obviously, they're already 0.75 in their special attack anyways, so you are going to be taking less damage regardless. You've got Leftovers, which allows you to heal up a little bit each turn. You've got Rock Slide, which allows you to hit for chance to flinch, especially if you chuck this into a Trick Room scenario. And then you've got Ruination to half the HP of the opponent. You know, if they've got something really bulky, then potentially that could be a really good option. And then Earthquake, again, hits both Pokemon, which could be really, really useful there. EV-wise, a few ways of running this: max HP, max attack, adamant nature, max HP, max attack, brave nature, as I said, the first one. You could run this as defensive, you could run this as specially defensive, you could run this kind of any sort of variation with the EVs there, and it will still work out quite nice. Now, obviously, when it comes to the Snarl, that is going to not do too much damage, but the whole point there is the reducing of the special attack stat as opposed to anything else. But yeah, I'm going to finish this off here, so I hope you enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here, so have a good one, and I'll see you soon.